This is my impression of the MOGA Pro attached to the Xperia Z Ultra. Now this is a big phone. It's about 6 inches, as you can see right here. And surprisingly, the MOGA Pro is able to fit this. It's a tight fit. It's not easy, but it fits. One of the things is that when you attach this controller to this device, the volume rocker gets covered, and it's possible that it might get pressed. It depends on how you position it, and it's not much of an inconvenience because you really don't notice it much. It can only be difficult if you want to change the volume or your screen shuts off, and there are workarounds for that. Holding it and using it is pretty comfortable as long as you're holding it up to this angle. It's pretty much okay. If you hold it more than that, the screen goes down, and it's not going to damage your device or anything, but the weight is too much. It goes down, so you can't lay down in bed and play it. But if you're sitting on your couch, you're pretty much good to go. It's pretty comfortable. So I'm just going to share a little bit of the gameplay. The controls feel good. So this is a MOGA Pro controller, and it does that pretty well. It's comfortable. It's a good experience. The advantage this Shield has over this, because this is the Xperia Z Ultra, the speakers are not that great on this. That's mainly due to the waterproofing that Sony has done. So that's a disadvantage. But the processor is a very good processor. This is a Snapdragon 800. It's got a leg up on the Tegra 4, mainly because a lot of the games are more optimized for this device, this chipset, I should say, because this chipset it's a popular chipset. So if you're going to buy an Android device for gaming and you want to stay away from iOS and iPad, you want to go with a Snapdragon 800 with the Adreno 330 GPU, because that's the most compatible one, and it's pretty much the best one for gaming at this point. I'm going to talk about the Shield a little bit because I have a Nvidia Shield. It's right here. And compared to the Shield, when I use this controller compared to the Shield, the weight, there's a huge difference in weight. And you might not think about it as much, but when you actually play this game with both devices, you will notice the weight. After a while, you just can't hold the Shield after a while. You know, you got to keep it down. But this is much lighter. Of course, the Shield has an advantage because the speakers on this, now these are some amazing speakers. I mean, I love the speakers on this. You can't compare to anything else. Maybe the HTC One that came out, you could compare to that, but I think it's better than that. So that's an advantage. The other advantage would be the heat. Now this thing, it doesn't get boiling hot that you could fry eggs on it or something, but it can get hot on this side pretty much. It can get lukewarm. I wouldn't say hot, that's wrong. It gets lukewarm. But the Shield, this is a big device, and it's got its own fan right here. So heat is not much of an issue. You know, you won't notice heat at all. It's not much of an issue. The other thing to compare with the Shield would be, well, this has an IPS screen. I don't want to get into too much about the screen because, you know, that's a matter of opinion. I personally prefer the Sony Xperia tumultuous display, or whatever it's called, because the colors pop a bit more on this. The colors are more vibrant, so I prefer the screen, but it ultimately just depends, you know. This setup for gaming is light. It's more portable. You get a bigger screen, and it's quite comfortable. This setup is also pretty comfortable. The controls are just brilliant. They feel great. I mean, even compared to the MOGA Pro or the 360 controls, these controls feel really solid. They're built well, strong, and it's got a good body. So You can't go wrong with this device. But there are some limitations. Mainly, this is a 5-inch screen, but the bezel is so thick, it makes it look a lot smaller than it should be. Because I own a Vita, and the Vita still looks bigger. The screen looks bigger on the Vita. And that could be an illusion because of the thickness of the bezel. So, otherwise, you know, pretty much you're getting good value either way. Of course, the Shield has some more features with game stream and all that stuff. Probably have to do a separate video on that. A lot of retro games, so yeah. I think that's pretty much it. So, you've seen both devices, and I hope you like the video. Cool.